Hello, this is Demonic Guy Gamer. Um, this is my vlog area, my first vlog. Um, Basically, we're gonna go over some topics and discuss about, I don't know, certain things. They're kind of irritating to me, but I guess that's how it is. The first thing is, I got a lot of flack from my video about why Battlefield 1 might release broken. People are like, well, the developers said that that's their priority to make sure that it's gonna be not broken and it's gonna be fixed, and the release of Battlefront so close is not gonna affect the game and everything like that. But honestly, everything is as if you look in the history of Battlefield. Yeah, they didn't start out with a story, but they started adding story. And then by adding it, it becomes part of the game. Now, their very first story that I'm aware of was in Battlefield 2 for the Xbox. Battlefield 2 for the Xbox had it was a broken story, but it was a story at most. Then came out Bad Company, which had a story. Bad Company 2, they both had really good stories, and their single player worked. The moment you start adding single player to your game, then that becomes part of the game and should be counted as so. So when you release a game, yeah, your multiplayer may be where everything's at, but single player is priority. If they didn't want to add single player and they just want to make multiplayer games, they would do that. But no, they want to release a game that has multiplayer and a single player. That's why they've been including weapon unlocks via the single player. So Battlefield 3 didn't have a great story, but it was a functional single player. Then Battlefield 4 came out, which had a broken single player. And I demonstrated that in my video, yet people are like, oh, you shouldn't count the single player. No, I'm going to count the single player. And they need to focus on that. If you're going to have it in the game, you need to focus on that. When it comes to Hardline had a somewhat broken single player, but for me, the best between Battlefield 3 and Hardline had a decent single player, for story wise. But for broken, I even emailed EA about this, saying that half the level's loading, and then maybe the rest of the level will load, or during a certain in-game cinematic, the game will load certain things. And this bugged me, and they said they'd get on it, which they never did for both. It also takes forever to load the single player. On console, I had issues. When I was playing on console, I had issues to where I got to a certain level in Battlefield 4, and then it would just, this was on the Xbox One, it kept reloading the same level. I would beat the level, and it would take forever to load, and it would reload the level, just over and over again. And last time I checked, they haven't fixed that. But that becomes part of the overall game, and so they need to work on that, not forget about that. Now, Battlefield 1 may come out completely fine. It may run really well, because maybe they learn from their mistakes. I'm just saying, they have a history of not having workable, in their main series, a workable single player. And I really want them to focus on that. And whatever happens in single player will affect multiplayer. We've seen this in other Battlefield games. So if they get both sides of that working at 100%, working fine, then you get your money's worth. But if the single player is broken and the multiplayer works, well then why should you spend all this money on a half a game? Kind of like when Grand Theft Auto released, but Grand Theft Auto released as a full game. So you bought a Grand Theft Auto game, and for free, you got the multiplayer. So it was a $60 game, and then later on, they added the online. Now, the online, you can't really complain of it not working because it was essentially given to you for free. They were working on the side, and then they say, hey, look, this is our system. Play it. Now, their multiplayer is not really that great. I played it. I got into it when it was first released. It was about a month. I couldn't even play it, and when I did play it, it based me off the LA servers. And once you hit it like 11 and 12 o'clock at night, nobody's playing, so you can't do the missions that they require because a lot of the missions require multiplayer. So it just became bored, and then even on the console, the frame rate wasn't always there. I'd be driving, all of a sudden, I'm jumped like 2 miles ahead of where I was. It was a bit crazy, but still, you got a full game for free. So when they release Battlefield 1, priority should be single player. Once single player is done, then multiplayer. If you can't get your single player fixed and working, then just don't do the single player. Just release it half price for multiplayer because you're going to make all that money back with all the DLC. And then once you get all that money back, then you can do your free DLC. But at the current moment, Battlefield 4 single player is still not really playable. At least on my machine. My machine's a pretty decent beast. It's 780 Ti, 16 gigabytes of overclocked RAM, Corsair overclocked RAM. And then I got a 4970 Intel processor. I'm running Windows 10 now. I was running Windows 7, but everybody's telling me, oh, you should jump to Windows 10. So I jumped to Windows 10. Not seeing any really improvements in Windows 10 except for certain games. I can use DirectX 12 now, or whatever number it is, which I'm not seeing any difference there. All my games, some of them even run worse. That's an issue on their part. But my main point is, just be cautious. Like, show the company that they have a broken single player, they have a broken game, then don't buy it. But the other thing that bugged me about this, everybody gave me crap, and then within a week or 2 weeks later, because I don't know, maybe they lost, maybe the YouTube environment ran out of stuff to talk about Battlefield 1, they started talking about the same topics as I did, and got less flack for it. Let's see if I can bring up just a search result. Alright, let's see. Let's look right here. Will Battlefield 1 outsell Infinite War? No, if it's like Star Wars Battlefront. Another point I made. Battlefield 1, will it suck? Battlefield 1 will maybe suck. Right there, Battlefield sucks, but I'm not sure what they're talking about. Looks like a bunch of kids. How can Battlefield suck? Battlefront sucks. Why Battlefield 1 will not kill Call of Duty? Why Battlefield 1 will suck? See, I could just keep going down. Battlefield 5 might suck. That was probably pre-Battlefield. Battlefield 1 sucks. Call of Duty Infinite War is better. I mean, that's an opinion name, but you know what I'm getting. Like, after I did my video, a lot of people started popping up. Will it suck? And, it probably will suck. I don't know. I can't tell the future. But I don't want to play a game that's going to be broken. And I think there's a possibility that that's going to happen. And then they're probably going to give a whole bunch of patches to the multiplayer to fix it. We've seen this with Battlefield 4. They ignored the single player, and they just patched the multiplayer. Well, then they'll create a patch to delete single player from the game for my Battlefield 4. Because then I don't want to play it if you're just going to leave it in the condition it is. It may be a good single player. I don't know. I didn't get that far in it because shit's not loading. Stuff is popping up. I can start walking in areas I shouldn't be walking in. You know. Alright, so my next little area I kind of want to talk about is... Let's go through... I'm currently a game developer. I have an indie company called Demonic Eye Games. We also have a YouTube channel, but I don't really post there much because I'm currently trying to restructure the company so I can get some games out. Currently, at the moment, we've released 2 games. And I've tested it. People like the games. They're simple. They're on the mobile platform. I spent $1,500 in advertisement and only sold 3, but everybody's downloading the free version. And as a developer, this is a good learning because it didn't take me much to not purchase, but it didn't take me much to publish the game. It's a game that one of our game designers, you can find his YouTube link, look him up, Richie221. It was his game, his idea, and I pretty much published it. We wanted to publish it to see what it's like to publish the game, to get some experience publishing games. And it's a decent game. Maybe the names have to change because when you look at one of the games, you get a whole bunch of construction apps with the game, and that's not what the game's about. So we're going to be probably renaming those, and we support them. Another thing he worked on is Roll the Thunder, which kind of has like a boxing accent to it. That game did decent. People liked the concept or whatever, but it didn't really sell as much. And then we tried to do a Kickstarter on a game, kind of like Battlefield, but kind of not like Battlefield. And what I say about Battlefield, it's similar because it's first person, it's multiplayer. But the idea of the game was a first person multiplayer PvE, player versus experience. And the concept was you and a bunch of people would essentially squad up, and you guys were firefighters. And there would be ranges from, a 5-alarm fire, or 2-alarm fire, or car accident, or something. Like really big environments, and you would have to work on putting the fires out. Now, on Kickstarter, I had a basic concept, a basic idea video showing that the possibilities of what it could be, not reflecting what the actual game's gonna be, but the idea of you being a firefighter, just putting out fires, not really focused on more of the emergency side. We wanted to focus directly on the players versus the fire, and the building would slowly deteriorate depending on how quickly the player puts out the fire. Like, so if the player puts out the fire quick, the building would be not as damaged. If the players take forever to put out the fire, eventually things are going to start falling apart and it becomes more dangerous, and eventually you die. I like this concept because because right now there's like tons of first person shooters out there. And instead of trying to kill each other, I want to get players to work together. And then we, overall explained all this in the Kickstarter, but it didn't do so well. And probably it's marketing, it's probably the subject. Not a lot of people are in that. But as a indie company, it kind of sucks that we gotta rely more on money to try to get these things done. And I know that that's the nature of the beast, but it's very hard. Like currently, right now, we're trying to get um, we have another game concept going, and I have someone working on a commercial for it, live action commercial for it. And the idea between that is you are a fairy. Now, you ain't a Disney fairy. You ain't some, you know, Tinkerbell going around. You're a dream fairy. And now this dream fairy is going to be a third person game, but the idea is the dream fairy. There you got these demons and you got the dream fairies. The dream fairies go, and kind of like the Tooth Fairy, they go pick up your dreams and they kind of guard you at night while you sleep. And these demons will go to your bed at night and take all your good dreams and kind of like a almost vampiric attitude towards you. They feast on your dreams, and while they're feasting, you get nightmares. So the main character is a dream fairy, and your job is to go to these houses and fight these demons. That's essentially, the game. But you use other things. It's not like, you can use direct combat, but direct combat may not be every boss. You may come across a boss that you got to use your wits. He may ask you questions and you got to answer them right, or he may give you a riddle or other stuff like that. So if you're interested in that game, let me know in the comments below. And, maybe I'll start a Kickstarter for it, because that's how indie companies get most of their money to make these games. Especially this one, which is a little bit bigger of a game. It's a bigger project, and I gotta pay people to work on it. Because if you don't have the money, they ain't gonna work. Right now, I have a bunch of people in the company, but since we're all buddies and everything, and nobody's getting paid, nobody's working on anything. They're all doing their other stuff. And just like, I'm trying to build brand recognition via just being a regular YouTuber, playing games. I love to play games, so I was like, why not? I got time. While doing that, I'm going to school for animation. I'm learning all types of different programs and stuff. I'm really investing. But my biggest thing is, I'm a programmer. I already have a degree in programming. And I want to get this company to where we're making games that the people want. Non-broken, polished games, good quality games. I do never want to release a game that release is broken. I know that sometimes it's hard to do that. You can't always, as an indie company, can't always test on every system. But I want to try my best. And if I can't fix it, then it ain't getting released. If I can't get it to work and if I can't like it on my computer, then I'm not going to get it released. Also, if the art and everything's bad, it ain't getting released either. So that's the good note. But if you want me to create a game like that, comment below. Another game I was supposed to be working on is about a girl trying to solve her mother's murder. And through this, she uses essentially drugs. It's like a negative, so it hurts the girl's personality. But when she takes these drugs, it allows her to kind of leave her body, and also allows her to go through memories to figure out what happened to her mother. And it's all about once you see in a certain scene that how something went down, then you go as your character start investigating. But every time you take a drug, it has effects on the character. And so it's like, do I take the drugs to figure it out, or do I try to question? So there's two sides of it. And the girl, the reason why she takes drugs is because she's depressed. It's a teenager, she's depressed, her mother died of suspicious causes, and she's trying to figure out why. And that's another game that I have in the system to be working on, but at the current moment, if we don't have any money to invest anymore, I'm spending a lot of money just on software licenses, and possible advertisements. So that's why I gotta look for other revenues of money. So if you wanna me to work on that game, comment down below. And yes, there is a comment section, so you should be able to find it. It's down below the video. That's where you can comment. There's a like and dislike button if you don't like this. Now, I'm probably going to post this video, at least a link to this video, everywhere. Just because it's a small channel, and that's how I get views, and that's how I get people to comment. Alright, so that's one game. And then another game I have that is essentially done, but the levels, I don't like the levels. I don't like the overall concept of the game. The programming, which I did all the programs, so I'm probably biased this, but the program is very good. The concept to it is very good. So it's essentially like a grapple and hook game that I made. And so my idea, I have a couple ideas of how to approach it, but essentially it just needs art done. For all the art needs to be redone. And the levels need to be redone. I need to take out the audio, replace a lot of the audio, and that'll be released. So you probably will see that maybe in a year or two. And I say a year or two because I'm quite busy trying to get this company working and functional. I just need you guys, if you like an idea, let me know, and I'll start Kickstarter. And then I need you guys to share the Kickstarter, send money to the Kickstarter, and all the money will go towards making the game. Like, I'm tired of these shitty developers starting a Kickstarter and not making the game and stealing all the money. I'm also tired of shitty developers releasing on Steam broken games and trying to be like, oh, that's how it is. We worked really hard. It's a good game. You're just lying or whatever. No, it's like when your shit sucks, your shit sucks. You need to be able to take constructive criticism. And I've seen a lot of games on there where their shit sucks. And I've seen a lot of games, Unity, I mostly use Unity. Unity's a good engine. But you got a bunch of douchebags out there that will go and take a full project folder, which you can get on the Unity Asset Store project folder, and just try to re-release it or anything. Now, I understand that the assets there you can use, you can go and buy, and for indie developers, that's really good. And a lot of people say, oh, you gotta make more of that asset. You gotta take that asset and change it in some way. It's like, no, if I go download a chair, I'm gonna use that chair. The thing is, you gotta make sure aesthetically it fits in your environment, but that's what they're there for. They're there for early indie developers to either make a concept or make a full game for it. There's people out there that are like, no, that's just like, no, that's what they're there for. The project files are theirs because someone got pretty far making a game, and those are there for learning. So they will release the project and be like, you can use this. Those aren't meant to be released. Even though they're still in the asset store and you can buy them, those are meant for you to expand upon and create your own idea of it. Kind of like RPG Maker. Comes with a bunch of pre-games and pre-done assets. They want you to make your own game with it, but not to copy their stuff, but they're also going to take a huge profit. I also noticed on Steam there's a lot of games made in RPG Maker. Now, that's an alright engine, but I don't know why you would release on RPG Maker. They take a huge profit compared to what Unity does. Because you gotta think, when you release as a Unity game, Unity takes a profit after so much money. And then if you release it on a mobile platform like Google will take a portion of the money. And then you got taxes and everything like that. So your chunk gets slowly chopped up. And I have another mobile game, which is kind of like Angry Birds. But it's taking the Angry Birds concept. It's with a cannon. And then the color scheme overall to the game is like 80s neon color scheme. Something basic. Which is good for mobile platforms. That's where basic's good. That's where we're going to try to start off making more money at, but the mobile platform is like Steam Greenlight times 10. Everybody's releasing their game on the mobile platform, and it's hard to get your game noticed without reviews or likes or anything like that. So I got that off my chest. I'm gonna be probably doing more vlogs, maybe like once a week, on stuff that I want to cover. Um, Also, I'll be streaming on the weekends on Twitch, and 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays on YouTube. So if you're a subscriber or anything like that, or just anybody and you want to know what time I'll be on, it's usually at nights, possibly during the day, because my classes are going to be night classes for this month, so it's going to be a little hectic. Next month should be better, but this month I'll try to stream at night. I'll use the event system. My biggest issue right now is getting the quality of my streams. So the more people that watch my streams and tell me what the quality's like, how I can improve them, and everything, I'm using Open Broadcaster. This is my first video using Open Broadcaster to record. I mostly use Shadowplay and Adobe Premiere. So let me know on the quality of this video. I mean, I'll see it once I upload it, but yeah. So that goes with that. I'm gonna try to get more actual videos done. I got my quick look series, I have a couple games there. I'm trying to get the series down to maybe 5 minutes of video, which is really just, the way I see it, it's like, if you and me start talking and I was like, you ask me what I'm playing, or how a certain game is. That's kind of like, so it's almost like an elevator pitch towards a game that is good. It's a game I like to play. I'll show some gameplay of it, but essentially it's that. So you watch the video real quick, get a small gist of the game. It's not a review of the game, because all the games I'll do for quick look are actually going to be decent games. They're not going to be broken, and they're games I played. There might be some games that are new and some games that are old, or I may use a platform as discussion. You gotta let me know. These are things I need to know to make this channel better and to make my company better. Let's see. Anything else? Yeah, to let you know, on my Twitch streams there is a delay, and on my YouTube there is a delay. YouTube streams. So on Twitch there's about a 4 to 5 second delay on the video, and then so if you respond in the chat room, I'll probably respond to you in the video, in the recording, but it's going to take a little bit to respond back. So if you jump in and say, hey, I'm going to say hey back, but you're not going to hear it until a little bit later. So real time versus recording time. Same thing with YouTube. I'll try to do a little bit better on YouTube. Certain games I've been trying to stream. Not sure if you guys had this issue with OBS. With Rocket League, it uses a lot of processing power, I'm guessing. And even with my beast computer and my internet, which I'm getting 3 megabits per, that's my bandwidth, is 300 megabits per second. So it's not my bandwidth, but it's the OBS working with Rocket League. Now I don't have this issue with Shadowplay, but I have an issue with Shadowplay when streaming, so that's why I switched over to OBS. Another game, Rainbow Six, and then Grand Theft Auto, the Los Angeles PD First Response. That has issues when I'm streaming, but I'll try to get more videos on that. The frame rate's heavy, it's a big game, so maybe I'll just only do smaller games. So I'm still trying to figure that out and trying to figure out the settings. That's all that I can talk about. That's all on my mind. I will have another video soon after this, because next week starts, well, I'll probably do 2 this week, so expect another video of this, and then I got a couple other videos working that are gonna be on the main channel, and then maybe I'll have some videos on some of the projects that I'm working on, so you can get the gist of what I'm doing. Alright, this is Demonic Eye Gamer, and see you later.